Your personal, private, Reddit troll. Whoa, hey, what's up, everybody? I'm back. We're going to troll some Reddit poetry together. We're going to find out who's been naughty and who's been nice since the end of 2021. Let's see what's up. People have been sending me DMs. People trying to come correct with some original verses. Let's see what they got. Let's see what they got. Start with Quilt. Someone gave Quilt this right here. Let's see if it's this right here. Love is a textile print weaved with wisdom and wrinkles, a patched legacy, intricate designs. Okay. So, love is a textile print. Okay, that's your proposition. That's your gambit. That's your opening. That's your first move on the chessboard saying, I'm going to take the center. I think love is a textile print. Weaved? Why? Why do you need an extra syllable there? Why not weaved with wisdom and wrinkles? Why do you need the apostrophe? Why? Are we counting syllables now? Are we counting feet? Do we need an extra syllable for this to work? A patch legacy? A patched legacy? Don't do that. Okay, why do you say intricate designs? Isn't it already obvious that it's intricate? Dancing, dragons, and lions. Just start there. Love is a textile print. Dancing dragons and lions. Embroidered in gold. Passed down moth kisses. Tight stitch daisy chain wreaths and hot chocolate stains. Okay. This is a little corny though, right? Hot chocolate stains a little corny. It's grandma's fabric and grandma smells. I don't know. A little corny. Entwined her mother's cloth and her mother's cloth. Okay, and so on. I don't know. So you gotta elevate the language. Okay, so I mean, you're saying, how is this different than saying, this quilt reminds me of grandma, or this quilt seems to embody some tradition of caring, of maternal care? Is that all that love is? Is maternal care, maternal affection, or is love more than that? Is love something else? So you're just saying it's only one thing, because love is a big concept, it's like you're trying to play tackle football with line one. Just go for the tackle. Love is, that's a bold opening. You better sack that, sack that QB. I don't know. I think bold opening. I guess love is. But not sold. Circus freaks. What? Pins and wiggles. There we go. Okay, pins. What's up, pins? Crashing, bull in a china shop, veins bulging down your arm, spider crawling, spindling, culminating at your shaking hands. Why do we need veins bulging down your arms? Okay, where are we? Are we in a metaphorical china shop or a real one? Spider crawling. Why is there a spider? Spindling, culminating, or shaking. Why is there a spider in a china shop? High diving, lion taming, fire breathing. So it's all a metaphor. Ringmaster with his whip shouting at me then for another drink, another pill, anything to keep the show going. What show? Eyes of Wild. Okay, so it's describing this. Okay, I get it now. Sorry, I'm dense. That's on me. Okay, so it's describing this person who's out of their mind, who's right in front of the speaker. The speaker's confronted with this person who's doing all these things. He's emoting all of these different associations for them of lion taming, of fire breathing, of ringmastering. Their veins are bulging. They're going nuts. Eyes of Wildfire, Bloodshot. A little confusing, but okay, I got it now. Bloodshot's smoking pupils. See, too much. Okay, poetry is about efficiency, so we're taking a lot of language to show me that someone's amped up and kind of crazy. My gaze trapped in them, trying to pull myself out. The former strongman, runaway clown. Just too much. So what's the conflict? Last I saw, you were strung out on a Goodwill couch. Open with that. Last I saw, you were strung out on a Goodwill couch, cradling a stomach full of pills, shaking in a cold sweat. Okay, start with that. Open there, then go to all this other stuff. Okay, but show us the conflict. What's the conflict? What's at stake between this speaker and this person who's going nuts in front of them? This freak. Why is it freaks plural? Circus freaks. Why plural? Why do you throw us off with that? It's about one confrontation between one crazy person who's high and the speaker. What's the speaker's stakes? Why does the speaker care? Why can't the speaker just walk away? Oh, I walk by this abandoned, crack house all the time, and there's just a crazy person there, or a crackhead. Show us. Make this emotionally risky for us, or by making it emotionally risky for the speaker. Show us that there's something to win or lose here. Something personal. Something intimate. My son. I see my son, the circus freak, strung out, or whatever. Hit us. Okay. Who's this? I don't know why my browser's doing this funny business here, but random ambles. Ambles. All right, random. Read Carlos Williams. Read Carlos Williams. He said, so I did. Okay, text 1 and 2. Let's just do one. Let's just do running. He keeps his phone in a plastic bag. A plastic bag? A plastic bag. Would William Carlos Williams write on this? I don't know. He keeps his phone in a plastic bag, his ID in the river. I don't see any connection necessarily to Carlos Williams here. William Carlos Williams has perfect control of tone in a poem and the ability to instantly situate and observe. He's a very good diagnostician. So he's like, he was actually a medical doctor, but he's very good at diagnosing things with a poem. So he could observe very keenly and instantly put the reader's eye where he wanted the reader to go. And could precisely control the tone, especially with the line. His lines were very, very taut and never lost any amount of energy in his line. So he keeps his phone in a plastic bag. At the end of the bag there, all the energy is lost. And then the next line, a plastic bag, a plastic bag. So now we've repeated the word plastic bag 3 times, or these words, these 3 words, we've repeated them 3 times. That's ninefold repetition. William Carlos Williams would never do that in a poem because it's a waste of energy. And then it happens again. He keeps his phone in a plastic bag. His ID in the river. Reread. Go back. Read more William Carlos Williams. Try to understand how William Carlos Williams deployed the line. Try to understand his use of tension and enjambment. And his precise control of tone, the very, very, very precise emotional tone that was extraordinarily consistent in a poem. And if the tone changes, it's for a reason. This tone, your tone here lacks control. It seems very throwaway. This poem is being kind of crumpled up and kind of tossed at the reader, but there's no emotional stakes for the reader here either. There's a little bit, but I don't know. So a runner, let's say I'm a runner, I go for a jog. I could put my phone in a plastic bag in case I sweat or it rains. That makes sense. But why would I keep my ID in the river unless I'm dead? William Carlos Williams doesn't toy with death. Doesn't make death a joke. A drowned jogger or someone who got beaten up and tossed in the river would not be a joke to him. So it's a lack of tonal control, lack of ability to orchestrate your subject effectively. Let's see. Awakening to Cloud and Mist. Got a DM from a gentleman who is composing in Chinese and then translating for us into English. Hajin, Great, very, very strong poet, very strong fiction writer, novelist. Ha Jin, all-around Renaissance dude of both English and Chinese. Check out Ha Jin if you don't know Ha Jin. I think he teaches at BU, not 100% sure, but certainly somewhere around there. Ha Jin could write, and does, as far as I understand, write poems in Chinese, and then he translates them himself into English. He's Ha Jin, so he feels like doing that, and he can do that. For mere mortals, I don't recommend that. I would never translate my own poetry into any other language myself, because I wouldn't feel qualified to do that, and I think I would be too biased, even if I were expert in a second language. I would feel like I would introduce my own biases, and I would prefer to leave that to someone else. This poet clearly wants to be able to play both sides of the net, so let's see how they do. I will only look at the English here. I have some college Chinese under my belt, but I will not bore you with that here. Awakening to the cloud and mist, scarlet summer dawns a vaporous cloak, ascending the mountain grove. This is very florid. I would say this is not a contemporary English poem. Moon bright water irrigates a creek flowing under the sunset. So this is kind of trying to approach a kind of a classical, Li Bai kind of sensibility, I would suppose. But, Li Bai has been dead for a long period of time. Not to say that you couldn't be influenced by Li Bai and try to incorporate some of those things, or Wei Wei. Feel free to be inspired by those, but I think we need to approach a kind of contemporary idiom since we're contemporary poets. We cannot pretend that we were born in a different time or a different era. We were born in the circumstances that we live in, and we are called upon to be witnesses to the world we live in. We cannot go kind of Don Quixote and tilt at windmills. We must be fully present in the world we live in. If we use fantasy, we use imagination, we put dragons in our poems, we're free to do that, but we must embody feelings and ideas that are contemporary. Does this poem achieve that? Does it attempt? Does it even interested in that? No. Therefore, it doesn't completely engage or interest me. I think this is a fascinating thing to attempt, but I think perhaps our poet could be better served from just performing a service of translating traditional Chinese poetry for us, classical Chinese poetry. It needs to be translated well, and Camera could set about to do that. Where Camera wanted to write poems in contemporary Chinese, Camera could do that. I take the example of a wonderful poet like Bei Dao, who's writing today, Dai Wangshu, Duo Duo, Lian Li. I very much like Lian Li. A lot of great contemporary Chinese poets producing wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things, both in the original Chinese and in translation. I suggest, if that's your yen, Camera, you read up and you see what strikes you, and then you loop back with me. That would be a very productive conversation for me to engage with you, since I love contemporary Chinese poetry. I also love classical Chinese poetry. I just don't think you should attempt to be writing it. Thank you. Outlet, plug into the outlet by somebody 9 days ago. By Tim 007. Longtime nemesis of the channel, but Tim and I had a little heart to heart, and I think Tim and I are seeing things from same perspective right now. So welcome aboard, Tim, and please continue to make fun of me as much as you care to, since I need to be brought down a peg here and there, and I enjoy it as much as the next guy. Let's see what you got with outlet. Sometimes, deep in the night, I descend down dirty stairs, the garage of my apartment complex, and scream. Good opening. deep in the night. Okay, deep. I descend down dirty stairs. Do we need to know they're dirty? Okay, that's fine. There's no baritone, manly shout. This is I can do without the manly. This is no baritone, and the shrill sound of fear. Excellent. Torture. Echoing for what feels like 10 seconds. Do we need to know how many seconds? I don't know. Okay. Stretched out over 10,000 years. Echoing. Okay. The white mold on the ceiling shakes. I love the white mold. Good observation. Stalactites from unmaintained piping. Unmaintained is a little awkward there, but crack and break, splitting into allergenic snowflakes. I love allergenic there. Nobody has noticed thus far. Great. Good. You're noticing. It's a key function of poetry is to notice what others do not. Perhaps a neighbor or two wake up, confused, then drift off in the coming silence. Okay. Perhaps they do, perhaps they don't. Okay. I wonder whether they have their own way of coping with it all. The screams, the fast quiet, the long daggers of time. The long daggers of time is superb, Tim. Superb. I salute you. I hope selfishly that I am not alone in my lungs and my fear. And my lungs and my fear is also a great ending. So I quibble here and there. I mean, there's might be some things to loop back to, but tremendously strong effort. These, it's mostly quatrains. We have some tercets here, mostly quatrains, functioning very well. We could look at that second stanza for very, very strongly structured 4 lines, as is the third. Both of those are a good mix of kind of end stops with the M dash, enjambment, and just good phrasing of balancing line and phrase. We're talking earlier we're talking about tonal control. I think Tim here has largely achieved a great deal of tonal control. So Carlos Williams would be happy to see the good tension maintained in the line by and large, and a very, very, very good emotional focus of the tone. When the tone does change towards the end, I wonder whether there is a slight tonal change, a slight shift in perspective, but it's slight. It's not major, which is good. We don't want to go too crazy, right? Tim is showing us control here, his ability to make subtle pivots as he changes the rooms. You could stanza. Another stanza is just Italian for room, so it's a small shift from one room to another. Small shift, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Excellent. Do like Tim. Go and do like Tim, okay? So some of you other folks who have had some challenges with your poetry, go and do like Tim. Read Tim's poem. Okay? Comment on Tim's poem. That would be a good idea. While we go ahead and give Tim a little bit of something to think about here. What are we gonna give for Tim? We're gonna give faith and humanity to Tim, because Tim renews my faith and humanity here. And thanks for reaching out, Tim. Your reformation. Lenny! Love to have Lenny poetry on my channel whenever I can. And Lenny hasn't been DMing me any stuff, so, if I just see a Lenny poem, I grab it. Your reformation used to be the devil that sat on my shoulder, coaxing me into the darkest shades of gray, until you decided you were really an angel, and now I'm just a sinner with no one to blame. There's some good things, Leonard. Some good things, Lenny. Again, the line is deployed relatively skillfully. There's good rhythm here. Devil, shoulder. So we have the two feminine endings there, and that E sound. And then we do that again, coaxing me in. So it's another soft ending. So the poem's kind of setting us up for a change then in sound or stress to the darkest shades of gray. So then the gray is a little bit of a stronger line ending. And then until you decided, hyphen, again, the decided id there is weak, a weak ending. You were really an angel, another weak ending, angel. And now I'm just a sinner, weak ending, with no one to blame. Strong ending, emphatic ending, stress syllable. So a lot of control, a lot of linguistic control, not exactly the same tonal control. I think the tone here is a little bit goofy, or maybe goofy isn't the right word, but sort of improvisational, or I don't know. I think that's a big issue for me. What is the tone? What is this poem trying to say? It's playing with this trope of like the kind of angel or devil on your shoulder that we get from cartoons. Shakespeare's angels, our better natures, angel of our better natures. It's this trope then is kind of almost a comic book-esque, or comic cartoon-like. So he's playing with this trope, and it doesn't. I think the language, the rhythm in the language is extremely skilled, but the end product here feels more like an exercise from Lenny, and that could be productive, that could be useful, but it doesn't coalesce to me into something that is moving. But it could. I just don't know where he's going with it. That's not necessarily bad. And I'm not completely dissatisfied with it either. I mean, as I've read it again, I think there is something interesting about it, and his use of these unstressed, feminine endings, and then the occasional stressed ending, does raise some questions. It plays with his theme well too. Is the devil the kind of the bolder stress? Go for it, and then the angel is the more reluctant one. I don't know. A lot of ambivalence. The darkest shades of gray is just more ambivalence. So I think Leonard could benefit from a little bit. You can play with ambivalence, but sooner or later people are going to want some type of specific proposal. You used to be the devil that sat on my shoulder. Okay, but what's the proposal? Where's this poem? What's this poem's gambit going to be? The gambit of playing with these cartoon tropes. Well, then you got to loosen it up more. Give us a succession of different ideas, and really rapid fire kind of deal us one card after another of different perspectives on this trope. But that's not what this poem does. It really almost wants to study it. There's just not enough there yet. Okay, Lisa Lee Liu, another slur on science. Greetings from Mod to Mod, Lisa Lee Liu. Marvel at Marvels. May who think the host. Marvel at Marvels, may who think the hosts of heaven encircling this our citadel of science, which stony walls of sense guard well. See that syntactic inversion. They guard well the stony wall. So there's a syntactic inversion there that the poet is employing. Have only power to menace us with ghosts, demons, and magic tricks, the pompous boasts of the occultist, muttering some spell, Baconian in its rigor to compel the rusty gates to wiggle on their posts and slip a scout in. There's a lot of density to this here. Marvel at Marvels. This is kind of a little rhetorical for us. So it's saying the poem is asking us to marvel at those marvelous people who may think, so it's conditional, may think the hosts of heaven encircling this citadel of silence. So it's not heaven, it's scientific heaven, encircling the citadel of science, which stony walls of sense guard well. So our sense of science is supposed to be observational or empirical. So it's guarded by our senses, I guess, which doesn't exactly make sense. It's supposed to be informed by our senses, not guarded by it. Only power to menace us with ghosts. But don't completely understand that. So if we're attacking that citadel, I suppose that we would attack it with superstition. Is that what the poet is saying, or the speaker? Demons and magic tricks. Okay, that's fine. Baconian. So that's Sir Francis Bacon, I suppose, and it's rigor to compel the rusty gates to wiggle on their posts and slip a scout in. Okay. So superstition superstition gets something in. Having seen which what? A poor pale shallow of the incarnate souls we daily see. I don't know. I don't want to tell other people what to do. I think this poem could certainly just benefit from simplifying the intellectual proposition here. So I think just say it directly. Say it as directly as possible, and then you can ornament it if you want to, if you care to, with this form that you have. But does it is the form helping or hindering? Form and the shape of the poem and the intent and the ideas of the poem should work together in tandem. They should harmonize. And I think the form here is holding back my ability to appreciate and understand your proposition about the nature of superstition and science. Having poems talk about and criticize science is potentially uncomfortable in this day and age. It's not impossible. It's certainly ambitious and interesting. So I'd like to stay tuned. But yeah, I think the citadel that's being constructed right now is the citadel of verse, and I would consider dismantling some of your sentinels, your guards, that prevent the reader from accessing the emotional tenor and prevent exposure and vulnerability to what's so interesting about your ideas, and expose yourself a little bit, become a little bit more vulnerable in this poem. I think there's actually probably some really interesting ideas here that if it weren't so barricaded up, might be kind of interesting. And your skill at verse is always going to be there for you. So it's not the case that by loosening these barricades is going to somehow weaken your art form. I think you can always return and utilize those things. They'll always be there in service of your art. So don't be afraid to be a little bit more vulnerable. See how that works. Bats of the Northeast, the Void Captain. Compromise is a made-up thing to pacify you. See that line break there? Compromise a made-up thing too. Why the line break there? Pacify you. Made-up thing? Compromise isn't a made-up thing, though. It's an interesting proposal that the poem offers, but compromise is a real thing, right? I mean, understanding is a curse uttered in your sleep. Is it? Okay. If you say so. I mean, why not open it with that? Understanding is a curse uttered in your sleep. A promise you will keep. Something you've given willingly. Week after week. I would, consider showing us the specific relationships, specific people. It doesn't, if you're going to have bats of the Northeast, put them in, get them there. Situate the reader quickly into a specific romantic or personal situation between two people who can't compromise or can't understand one another. Show us where they live, show us where they sleep, show us the complexion of their face, the clothes they're wearing, the sound of their sighs, whatever it is. The high concept stuff, I don't know, rarely works, where you want to redefine concepts to some other concept. It seems, Not that interesting to most readers. Maybe some readers it is, but I don't know. Maybe instead of being captain of the void, you could be captain of something more specific, more embodied, more located. Be the captain of yourself, and then the reader will join you in your adventure. I can see the moon, but she is looking elsewhere, attending foreign continents across the black. Very good. And he in alien places tangles with her, ripping sheets by wind and looming gravity. Excellent. And yet, abreast the shoreline now, he knows me, kisses ankles, thighs. My lips, the salt is sweet and cold is heavy, and the cold is heavy. My toes flirt with sand on the downswell. Very strong. Very strong. Very strong. Strong poem. Strong poem. I'm going to give it a to the stars. Nice. I'm not going to, I don't know. I mean, is there much to add? Some of the line breaks, kisses, no, he knows me, comma, kisses, new line, ankles, comma, new line, thighs, comma, new line, my lips, semicolon. I like that. My lips, semicolon, the salt is sweet. I'm not sure about the cold is heavy. I mean, I don't know. It's okay. I mean, it's kind of earned, right? I mean, this poem's pretty strong, so you can kind of get away with a lot. My toes flirt with the sand on the downswell. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to pick at anything. I'm not even sure I completely understand it, but I'm not even sure that bothers me because I think the language is very courageous, sensual, immediate, and look at how successfully we're situating the reader. I can see the moon, but she is looking elsewhere. Perfect. Everybody, here's the thing, every motherfucker writes poems about the moon. I've written dozens and dozens of poems about the moon. I'm sure everyone watching this, listening now, has written poems about the moon, whether when they're 5 years old or 25 or 45 or 105. Everybody writes poems about the moon. It's hard. It's hard to do. Most of them suck. They suck moon balls. This poem doesn't suck. So you take on a hard topic, you take on one where many other people fail, one which is a high classical standard where folks like Keats succeeded, about the stars. Take on planetary size ambitions and you succeed. Hats off to you. Cicadas song, steadfast, take a second, reckon the tide receding, returning shortly after, sea confirms its many states, change, carnage, calm, all in the same day. That's a nice contrast to the poem before because this doesn't work. Steadfast. What is steadfast? See how the first one, the title even situated us, the first line situated us. There's no situating us. Steadfast is to what? Take a second, reckon the tide receding. But you didn't put us on the shore, so it's hard for us to reckon the tide receding. Return shortly after. Return where? Where are we returning to? Sea confirms its many states. What states? Angry. Sad. All in the same day. Well, tides move. Yeah, that's true. That's true. There are tidal charts, and it all happens on the same day, or on different days. Follow the coast to see in the asymptote. Why? Why do I follow the coast? Just compare, Reddit. I dare to compare. Strictly hardware. Okay, go and look. Okay, go and look at. I can see the moon, and steadfast, and think about it. Think about it. And get back to me. Okay, thanks. Last poem. Us, entangled rhyme. I know my voice doesn't matter. Great gambit. As long as the dinner's on the table and the children fed, cleaned, and put to bed. Good. Strong. I know I can stack my opinions neatly by the dishes and let them dry. Okay. For all you want is some TV, popcorn, more whiskey. Okay. Now we got to act. Okay. Now it's time for action. You've set all the stage. You know, you're running out of runway for this plane to take off. This is a lyric poem. You got to pull up on that throttle now. Let's see what you got. I'll let the tap run and overflow the sink. Okay? And wonder of a life sparkling in the rain. Okay? But you didn't give us any seasonal imagery, any weather imagery to open. So if you said, I know my voice doesn't matter, it is like sighing in the wind before the rain to set up the ending of the poem. I know my voice doesn't matter to set up the ending of the poem with a weather idea and image. Okay? I don't know. Give us some foreshadowing so this ending will work. The ending doesn't work. Oh, it isn't the ending. There's more. Sorry. The what-ifs flicker and drown in the glowing pools before casting their last shadow on the clock, which forgot to tick. Okay? You're boring. I personally, I'm a little bored. Okay? I think you've set things up. So you have the knife ready here. Okay? All you want is some TV, popcorn, more whiskey. Okay? So now attack. Starting the attack. I let the tap run and overflow the sink. Okay? And now that's something. And now pivot and be done and exit. I don't know if they're going to keep into this abyss. I don't want abysses in poems, Reddit. Don't put abyss, chaos, souls, any of that stuff. Take it all out. All goes, go, out. Raging fire, no. Take it all out. Take that stuff out. Show us. Show us what happens. Is this a literal thing that happened? Did this actually happen in reality? In the reality of the poem? That you let the tap run overflow the sink? Because now abusive, entitled husband dude, whiskey drinker, he's going to do something, right? What happens? Reader wants to know. You don't have to fulfill the reader's expectation. You have to show them. You don't have to do that. But you've escalated, and the reader's going to expect you to do something once you've done that, to deliver. You could pivot from there if you want to, but you can't kind of wishy-wash at that point. Well, it might have happened. It might be a metaphor. The sink overflowing is a metaphor. You can't do that. Look at I can see the moon. There's no hypotheticals here. Okay? It's all action. It's all strung together. It's like a necklace. Like one piece connects to the other, connects to the other, connects to the other. There's nothing with it that's going to, like when you hold it up, there we go. When you hold up the necklace with both hands, nothing's going to fall off the string. This right here, this is the moment. I know I can stack my opinions neatly by the dishes. Good. And let them dry. Good. For all you want is some TV. Okay, maybe a little bit overstatement. Popcorn, some more whiskey. Maybe a little overstatement, but okay. But fine. Now execute. I let the tap run overflow the sink. Okay? And now, no what ifs. Now what? Now what does the poem want to do? No what ifs. What happens now? Okay. Cool stuff. Thanks for joining me for some trolling. I got to get the heck out of here. A lot of exciting stuff going on Reddit. And a lot of exciting stuff is going to go down this channel. I want to get some more people on this channel. Zooming in with me, hanging out, talking about their poetry, getting loose. If this is your idea and you've been on the channel in the past, and I've talked about your poetry and it feels like you want to jam, let me know. I want to do that. I want to find the next Bootstrap 17. And if I can't find the next Bootstrap 17, I'm just going to have Bootstrap 17 back. Because, you guys just don't want to see me doing this all the time. You want some excitement in your life. I'm going to give you some excitement. If I can't find one of you guys out there on Reddit, I'll find someone else. Okay. Someone who has it going on. Okay. Someone like Ackledge, maybe. Okay, Ackledge. Hit me up, Ackledge. Hit me up. Peace out, folks.